My name is Jasmine, and I am your small town gray witch here to talk to you about witchcraft and how to begin. I have my incense burning, as you can see, and I have my candle here. So let's get started. First off, disclaimer, always safe. Safety is first. So if you are not in a safe space to come out of the broom closet, as they say, then don't. Make sure that you are in a safe space. Nothing is worth your safety. Safety first. So, if you are living with family, there are ways to practice in secret that we will discuss here, but don't do anything that is going to go against your safety. I suggest that you separate yourself from unsafe beings and then go and live your life happily. If you are able to do so. Keywords. If you are able to do so. Everybody has a different path and everyone has a different setting in their life. So let's always be safe first. So, with that in mind, let's start with the main question. What brought you to witchcraft? That's always the biggest question because that gives us a starting point on where to lead to. So, there's a couple different things that could have brought you here. Maybe you just thought it was cool. Maybe your favorite thing is Halloween. Maybe all these things are true. Maybe it's a personal journey that you need to discover. No reason is invalid. No reason is invalid. No reason is invalid. For my personal reasons, I was brought up in a very religious home. I couldn't celebrate Halloween until I was probably 11. And in which case, it's kind of like putting a big, huge red button on things. I was always told, read your Bible, read your Bible, read your Bible. Well, when I got older, first thing I tried to do was become the best Christian I could be. And no matter what I did, I didn't feel like it was good enough for my family. So then I started to actually read the Bible because that's what I was supposed to do. And I realized I started finding hypocrisies in it. Little things that just didn't make sense to me. So then I started researching beyond the Bible because I had questions that people weren't answering, which is a very common thing for witches to do, is just question and then not be answered. So then I noticed different practices like eating the blood and the body of Christ. That seemed very, very, very like symbiotic magic to me. And then I know in Catholic tradition, they tend to burn frankincense and myrrh throughout the chapel to cleanse and bring in the Holy Spirit, which again sounded like magic to me. And my grandmother, as I got older, her Christmas tree, I was like, how is that not pagan? Because I had a few pagan friends in high school, and I was like, wait, and she's like, no, that's a Christmas tree, Jasmine. And I'm like, but that makes no sense. And how do Easter bunnies and eggs equal Christ? Like, these things just don't add up. And I kept digging and digging and digging and digging and digging. And eventually, it brought me where I stand here. So I tend to dive into things and dissect them completely to understand them. I know a lot of others who've had that same path, and that's what brought them to where they are now, and there's no wrong answer. So it just kind of gives you a starting off point. If you're like me, well, maybe you need to research the church and everything else too. I know a lot of people will be like completely get rid of the church and what they teach. I wouldn't say necessarily get rid of everything. Feel what's right for you. Everyone has a different path. I don't think there's a wrong answer to this question. I don't believe in forsaking everything or not forsaking everything. Everyone's going to have something different. So some people have to push completely away and cut off all things, and some things can work through it and pick and choose and see what's right for them. So maybe you're super into cooking and that's your thing. Maybe you're super into being silly and doing crafting, that's your thing. Maybe you're super into dancing and that's your thing. And you met someone who also likes to dance for their witchcraft. That could also be a reason. So we're going to get more into that, and that's how you can kind of lead yourself on. So this brings it to my first point. You're going to want to journal. You're going to want to journal big time. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It could be a simple book like this or anything else. Dollar Tree works. Envelope works from your trash bin. This one works for me. I haven't written anything in it. I have a bajillion journals. So just a journal and write that down if you can. If journals don't work for you, then vlog it. Type it on your phone in the notes. Video record it. It just helps to have something to go back to and see how your journey progresses. Now, if you are in the closet and you can't leave a single detail where someone else might find it, which is totally valid, just think about it. Think about where your stuff started. All right? So that's what I kind of want to go to. Now, there are certain small things that you can do to make your day a little more magical. These may be called daily practices, but I just call them the small things. You don't have to do them daily. It's good to have a kind of ritualistic kind of aspect where you're just routinely doing things, because you don't want to completely drop off your magic for months at end. It's just not preferred, and pick it up whenever you feel like it, because the more you practice something, the better you'll be at it. So, first things first. Let's give you a couple of ideas, and some of these things can work for in the broom closet, and some things may not work for in the broom closet. So, how you stir your coffee or your tea. Great way to bring in magic and good energy or cast things out. So, clockwise would bring things in. So, if you want a good day with happiness and you want to bring those things in, just stir your tea clockwise and kind of mentally focus on setting that good intention. No one's going to think twice about it. You're just stirring your coffee or stirring your tea. No one's going to think twice about it. If you want to cast out someone who's just being a little more cranky to you, you're like, I just don't want to talk to this person, please let them be just away from me today, or I'm feeling kind of sad, I just want to get rid of that sadness, you can start counterclockwise, and that will push things away from you. It's not the most extreme thing to do, but it is a good practice just to get you setting those intentions, and no one has to know about it. So, showers. Cleansing showers. Amazing. So, you can make a sugar scrub, you can make a coffee scrub. Awesome ideas. These things are super good. If anybody asks why you're making a sugar or coffee scrub, you can just say, hey, I heard this was really great for my skin. I'm super excited about it, so I wanted to try it. A lot of people won't think twice about that. If not, take your regular soap when you're in your shower, and it's about that intention. So you're going to scrub from your head to your feet, and then wash from your head to your feet. So head first, all the way down to the feet. And just see that bad energy washing off of you. See the grime of the day just kind of washing off of you. Great way to do it inside and outside of the broom closet, because most of the time you're in the shower by yourself. So, it works. You don't need anything special. If you have to, just use your own fancy soap. Sometimes using the other things like coffee or sugar scrubs or this, that, or the other thing just kind of make you feel special, which kind of brings a little more magic into it, because it's that feeling, that intention, that essence. And you know what I'm talking about? But it's not needed. It's not needed. You just got to set that intention. So, preparing food. Great thing to do is prepare food. If you're out of the broom closet, then talk to the food. I want this rosemary to do this. I want the salt. I'm going to sprinkle some salt in for clarification or purification. I'm going to sprinkle this pepper in for spiciness. There's a lot of herbs. Research them. Find the different ingredients and why they have the magical properties you have, and then talk to the herbs. Tell them what they're going to do for you. There's a reason why soup works so good for sickness, because most of those ingredients are for health, clarity, abundance, healing. So soup is amazing because it has those properties in it. You just got to tell the herbs what you want them to do. even if you are in the broom closet, you don't have to say, hey, Basil, you're going to do this. Hey, be like, oh, this is going to be the best soup. I'm so excited for this soup. It's going to be amazing. Amazing soup. That will also send that intention. Oh, this is going to make me feel so good. I'm so excited for this soup. It's going to make me feel better. It's going to calm that cold that person's got. It's so amazing. And then people just think you're weird. They don't think you're actually doing witchcraft. They think you're weird. The other thing you can do is, if you are out of the broom closet, write little sigils in the bottom of your cookies, in the bottom of your pies. Stir it into your soup. Make the sigils that way. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Research how to do sigils. I'm not going to go into it. Maybe on a different video, but not now. The next thing you can do is, this never worked for me, but I know many, many, many witches that swear by it. Go for a walk in nature. Connect with nature. Bring nature inside. Get a house plant. Something. I kill houseplants. I'm not a nature person. I rather sit in my house and be my little goblin troll. It's just not for me. So I don't get this. I understand that nature and the elements and the earth are important, but it's just not the way I do my witchcraft. And people might say I'm horrible and I don't do witchcraft right for this and blah, 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 blah. But someone's always going to have something to say about your magic. So you just kind of like gotta ignore them. So go for a walk in nature, sit in nature, relax in nature. You could say, hey mom, I'm trying to be more healthy. If you're in the broom closet, I'm gonna go for a walk. If you are going around the block or in a public park or on a dog trail where there's going to be, like, then you're fine. If you're going to go for a hike up a mountain or go to somewhere that's a little more abstract in nature, please bring someone with you. Find someone who's open-minded and bring them with you if you're planning on, like, doing anything out there, or if you're literally just going to walk and you can still keep that closet up. That's cool too. Just, they don't have to know why you're walking. They don't have to know that you're connecting. But just be safe. Don't be sorry. Always charge your cell phone. Don't rely on your cell phone, because if you're going out, then who's to say you'll have cell phone service at the nearest national park? You might not, so let's not rely on that. Always bring a buddy, just in case. Alright, so safety first. Always safety, 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 safety first. Alright, so decorate your house. So this was a big one when I was a kid. I'm not a witch. I just like weird things. I'm not a witch. I just like weird things. And now, even when I'm like, hey, I'm a witch, I'm magic, I'm awesome, everyone else who can't handle it, there's a lot of older people who I don't think mentally could handle it. Other people lie to them for me, because they'll know I'm just like, hey, I'm a witch. I'm a witch. It's okay. It's a thing. It's okay. I have hair. I wear black shirts. I sleep at night and I'm a witch. It's just, it is what it is. I have glasses and I'm a witch. That's how I see it. It's just another part of me. Just an adjective. And if someone comes up to me and goes, are you a witch? And they whisper it like that, I'm like, yep. And they're all like, oh, because small town. So, like, my mom's, or sorry, not my mom, my aunt's mom went to me one time and went, hey, Jasmine, are you a witch? Are you a witch? And before I could even go yes or no, my aunt immediately stepped in and she went, no, she just likes weird things. Like, I like weird things, she just likes weird things. And, like, shoot her away before I could even say something. My aunt came to me and said, hey, I understand, I'm sorry I did that, but, like, she can't mentally handle it. Like, she can't mentally. She's not. And I'm like, that's okay. It's okay. I get it. I don't want to cause issues, but I'm also not gonna lie. You want to lie for me, that's on you. If she asks me again and you don't happen to be there, well, that's also not my problem. But it is what it is. So anyways, decorate your house. Pretty rock is a centerpiece. Well, I just liked it as a centerpiece. That pretty crystal that you got from the metaphysical store, that's just your centerpiece. You just happen to like it. Houseplant. It's just your houseplant. You have a houseplant, not a big deal. You can be a little bit more like me and you can see the skull in the background. Well, I'm weird. It also helps that I liked weird things since I was 10 or 12. Well, no, actually, I've liked weird things a lot before that. My dad and me were, like, obsessed with dragons and stuff and weird stuff, but I think I became more gothic around, like, 9, 10, 11, 12. So. Sorry about that. Itchy throat. So, you can do different activities that kind of get you in a grounded state, such as dancing. I love to dance. Dancing in the rain is amazing. Collecting rainwater. If you just want to collect rainwater, go for it. That's more of an outer closet thing. Trust me, small town people will look at you if you are in a white dress and dancing in a thunderstorm and then running inside to throw on something else because your dress is going see-through. Yeah, they will look at you funny like that. And then you come out with a black dress because you realized you were wearing a white dress and still dance in the rain barefoot, collecting rainwater like this. Yeah, they're gonna look at you funny. They will look at you funny. Small town people, so just be prepared for that. But yeah, dancing in the rain. Awesome thing to do if you get a lot of rain. Not work. So this goes for in and out of general practice. Knot work is easy. You tie the knot, create your intention into the knot. You can do this with your shoes every day. If you're in the closet, do this with your shoes. As you tie your shoes, say all the things that you are going to do for that day. Because your shoes are a tool to do those things, right? They work on your feet. They keep your feet safe. Your feet help you go. Your shoes help you go. You get on your shoes to go somewhere every day, like work or whatnot, school, whatever you got. So set those intentions. I am going to go do and tying your knots in your shoes. It's completely and utterly legit. You don't have to say it out loud if you don't want to. If you're in the closet, if you want to say it out loud, go for it. Witches' ladders are great. It's another form of knot magic. I have one hanging on my porch for protection. They have all different things. Basically, you tie like driftwood into rope, and that's a witch's ladder pretty much. They're a little more chaotic than that. Some of them just have knots and they don't have any wood. It's really however you feel like, but knot magic is a thing. If you want to tie your friends together, tie them in knots. Not physically, but you get what I'm saying with rope. So that's an easy thing. Or clean your house. Clean your house is one of my favorite mundane witchy things to do. I do it every once in a while. So a couple different things I do for that is, one, I put salt on my floor. I sprinkle salt all over my kitchen floor, and then I let it sit for a couple minutes, and then I sweep it up, and then I mop my floor. Salt is a very good cleansing and protection agent, purifying agent. I mean, there's a reason why they sprinkle salt by the windows. So it kind of takes that bad energy, because the kitchen is where people pass through the most in my house, and it's also where I don't have carpets. So I put salt where everyone's coming in and out. I put salt there to clarify that energy and clean out that energy. You can put a broom by your door. The way you sweep your floor. So my kitchen table is in the middle of my kitchen, and you can literally sweep all the way around the kitchen table or all the other way. So again, clockwise is bringing in, counterclockwise is casting out. But sweep your floors a certain way. Start from a certain corner and work your way around the room. Take it out. Sweep it out the door. You can create different washes. So one of the washes that I like to do is like a little bit of bleach or a little bit of soap. Please don't mix your bleaches and ammoniums. That's how you make mustard gas and you kill people. So please note what you're mixing when you're making your own cleaning solutions. Safety first. But I like to put a little bit of lemon juice or lime juice, and then sometimes I like a little salt. Depends how much grime, because sometimes salt leaves a coating. So just be aware of that. I don't really like using salt on my kitchen table. But I'll put a little lemon juice, a little lime. Sometimes I do a little. And then I'll clean my house and wipe all the walls down and wipe everything else down. And that's a good way to just clean your house and add a little witchiness to it. So simmered pots, a lot of people make simmer pots is they throw a bunch of like oranges and limes and lemons and cinnamon and everything else in their simmer pot, and then they'll simmer it down, and they keep that, and then they'll put a little bit of their simmer pot in their cleaning mixture to kind of wash down their house for that solstice kind of or seasonal aspects. So summer, winter, fall, the Sabbaths and the Esbats. So that's something you can do. Something you can actually do. Now, I would have not been, I don't like doing this. This is a different thing completely. This should be a daily practice, but I don't like listing it under the daily practices because it's not something that's really, a lot of people, I guess, it could be done in the closet, but when I was younger, this is not something that could have been done in the closet. This would have been seen as devil's work. So meditation and yoga in my household when I was a kid would have been demonic. That's how strict my household was. Now, not so much my household, but my family. My dad was a little more open to things. But I don't like saying meditation because I don't want a in the closet broom who's in an extremely Christian family to go, oh yeah, meditation's easy, I can do that, and then come to find out family freaks out about it. So I don't like proposing it as just this thing. I'm a little more careful about that. But that's because of my own witch wound. So I suggest, if you can, do meditation every single day. I know meditation's hard. A lot of people can't just sit there. I noticed that I like to do it either when I'm sleeping. I know that sounds weird, but like that's when I like to do it right before I go to sleep. So I guess I'm meditating into a sleeping state, which I know is not always the goal, but that is a goal that I have sometimes. I really like walkthrough meditations because it helps my brain create the pictures I need to understand the spirit world. Where if it's just words or sounds, I tend to listen to those and then kind of like flow. So if it's a song, my brain kind of does this, which is hard for me to focus because I'm so focused on my brain doing this. When it's a guided meditation or a walkthrough meditation, my brain does kind of go where it wants to go with the guidelines of the meditation. So I'll end up in a room where I'll talk to a spirit, and that's more my style. Also, I noticed that if I have a target, that works for me. But other forms of meditation are if you are ADHD or something, you can't sit still or you just can't meditate, it's just not your thing. Like I said, dancing to the point where you don't care, not where you're trying to follow moves, and just dance around your kitchen table to the best song you got. A lot of people who are into rock and roll do this. They'll put on their Slipknot, their AC/DC, their In This Moment, their Korn, their Papa Roach, and they will just let it out. That is a form of meditation. You don't have to sit there and say Om. It's what gets you aligned is your form of meditation. So whatever gets you aligned is meditation. Whatever gets you aligned is meditation. Now, getting aligned is hard, and you probably do it without recognizing it. So it's kind of like hard to set you in that right spot, okay? That's something you're going to have to figure out what works for you. A couple other options that I have that work for me is, yes, guided meditations, dancing. Some people like to walk in nature and then just breathe in nature. Some people like yoga. Some people, it's a sleep thing. Some people, it's a whole bunch of different things. But the point is, the reason why we do meditation and we're constantly preaching meditation is because it's a way of aligning yourself with spirit. So if you don't align yourself with spirit, it's harder to connect with them. It's harder to connect with energy when you are not aligned. So that's why it's being preached so hard. Trust me, I was like, I don't get it, fuck it, for the longest time. But trust me, there's a reason for it. So, now, for daily practices that are more witchy than just abnormal, my favorite one is, yes, I meditate. I don't meditate every day, but I do try to do it 2 to 3 times a week. That's kind of my goal for myself, because I tend to forget, and I'm like, oh shit, I woke up late. Or, oh my god, it's like 9 o'clock and I have to go to bed. Instead of setting that intention to meditate. Because I like to do it right before I go to bed or right when I wake up. Because I'm not good at doing it like at lunch or something like that. Busy girl. So, some things I like to do for a daily practice is I spray myself with this. This is the Divine Touch spray oil. But I will find another spray oil once this goes, like, ends. This came from, I believe it was, the Witch's Roots box, subscription box, but I love this for protection. Mint is a very good protection. I just flip my hair up and I spray it on the back of my neck, because I believe that things attached to you in this area, when you're walking around, they kind of grab onto your shoulders and your neck. So I tend to protect that spot as I walk around through the day, because that's where the energy sticks. That's just one of the things I do. Another thing I do is I tend to read or listen to witch videos. I research of some sort. I can listen to YouTube throughout work, so it makes it really easy for me. I can just put on, and I try to do that at least a few times a week, something, just to kind of give you that daily practice. You need to find out what works for you in your day. Because if you're like, I'm going to do this huge big ritual, it's not going to work. Or at least very unlikely that it's going to work. I spray this on when I put my deodorant on in the morning. It's just deodorant, stinky pits, protection, go about my day, maybe some perfume on some, but I keep this just in my bedroom where everything else would be, so it's very, very easy for me to just done. Like I said, in my job, I tend to listen to YouTube a lot. I also am used to getting to work early, so I just keep a book in my locker, so that way if I don't want to talk to people that day, I got a book to say right here in my face. I don't tend to read books as much as I would like or wish I did, but again, that's where YouTube, Audible, things like that come in. Alright? So, I have a whole bunch of research for you. Now, research. I think that this actually goes with getting to know yourself. So, those things are kind of in a line. Now, research is a separate thing. You should be doing research all the time throughout your craft. Not like day and night chaos, but you shouldn't stop researching. You shouldn't stop doing things and wanting to learn more. You will never know everything. So, obviously you got to this, the first thing is, you got to this video. Good for you for getting to this video. Somehow you came here. Good job. Now, there are several sources I want to give you for research that I enjoy, but always, always, always research. Research to the nines. Because research goes with getting to know yourself. The more you get to know yourself, the more you'll learn what kind of witch you are. Now, I don't necessarily believe in labels like kitchen witch or green witch or or mystic witch, or I think putting yourself too much in a box limits who you are. Now, I say I'm a gray witch, and I know that's another label, but it's just to explain to people my morals, my ethics, my general thought process, that I'm very eclectic and I go everywhere I want to go. And no one's going to stop me. Alright? That's not to be conceited either. It's just kind of giving everyone an idea of where I stand. I'm not a Wiccan, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm a gray witch. I work. Gives it very vast. So if you really needed to say, hey, I'm generally this kind of witch, that's fine. But since you're just starting out, try not to label yourself, because you don't want to label yourself into a box and then not find out other things that you enjoy. You don't want to label so much that you're restricting yourself. So, with that, research and get to know yourself. So let's start with research. We are going to get a journal. Journals are awesome. It doesn't have to be any fancy. It can be a Dollar Tree journal. It can be everything else. Journal. Journal. Okay? Then, after journal, I'm just going to drop these books right here. After journal, if you are in the closet and you can't really be journaling about witchcraft or anything like that, or even if you are a witch and you want to journal because you want to get to know yourself as a witch, I have a couple of books here. These are kinds of books like self-love workbook for women. This, Walmart. No witchcraft. And here, it's about my cycle, body language, self-doubt quiz, mantras for self-compassion. We're all in this together, meditation. So this does have some meditations in it. But people are going to see this. And it says, release self-doubt, build self-compassion, and embrace who you are. No one's going to think anything about witchcraft when they see this book. Really. Like, at least your mom, if she's snooping real hard. Again, safety first. Do what you think is best for you. But no one's going to think twice about this, really. Like, it's a self-love journal. So, Walmart, and according to this, it's $16 in the United States, according to the back here. Walmart price on the tag says $12.31. So, pretty cheap. It's not really research, but it's getting to know yourself. So when you get to know yourself, you're going to learn what you like, what you don't like, and how you work. And the more you learn about yourself and the more you heal yourself, the better witch you'll be. Because the more balanced you are, the more balanced your magic is. Again, the more balanced you are, the more balanced your magic is. The more balanced you are, the more balanced your magic is. The more balanced you are, the more balanced your magic is. Magic doesn't run when there's a typhoon. Okay? You gotta get yourself in line. So, we're gonna talk on getting to know yourself along with research. Because getting to know yourself is researching yourself. Researching yourself is also important. I see getting to know yourself as a form of research and a form of healing. The wisdom of Rumi. I was given this, so honestly I don't know exactly where this person got it, but Five Below. Sorry, I just looked at the tag. Five Below, $5. Workbook. If you guys like workbooks to get to know yourself, just try to dive deep on the prompts. Don't answer them in 1 word or 2 word sentences. Try to dive deep. What words would you say to a friend in need or moral support? What have you been dwelling on? What are you most grateful for in your significant other? How do you relate to this, depending on what it said? Write about the first time you fell in love. So it's a complete. What dreams and ambitions do you have that you have been putting off? So, another workbook, $5, easy peasy way to research yourself. Because there's this thing called shadow work, and I'm gonna do a whole topic on shadow work. But most witches, I'm gonna say most just to be on the safe side. I want to say all, but I'm gonna say most have a witch wound, have something that they have to fix in them. Humans have something that they have to fix in them. So the more you can fix yourself, the more you can align yourself, the greater your magic will be. Magic is always a healing journey. We call that dark self, the unconscious self, the self you kind of hide, your shadow self. So that's where shadow work comes in. Alright? So, the more you get to know yourself, the more you meditate, the more you practice, the more you'll find your special abilities. A lot of these are known as the clairs, and I'll do a whole nother video on the clairs. Clairvoyance, clairaudience, blah 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 blah. But I just wanted to generally give you an idea of why I'm saying you need to align yourself. Because the more you align yourself, the more you'll find your gifts. The more you heal yourself, the stronger your magic will be. So that's why we research ourselves. Alright? So that's kind of why I'm trying to give you these help books to kind of align yourself. Alright? It's not to push much on you. It's just to help. Journals, things like that. So now let's get to the actual, massive resources. Because I got a lot of them here. I have a whole stack. So the first little ones that I love, if you're just a brand new beginner, are these books right here. A little bit of angels, a little bit of goddess, and a little bit of pendulum. They're a series. These are not the only 3. These are just the only 3 I have. Some of them have been given to me, some of them have not. I've bought some of them. They are usually pretty decently cheap, usually about $10 per book. Like I said, some have been given to me, some of them I've gotten in boxes of stuff, so on and so forth. But this is a good place to start. It just gives you a little bit of information about the different things and how to use them. It gives you enough that you can play with them. Just how to do things. This is programming your how to use the pendulum, how to program it. Kind of just gives you enough to start out with. It's not too expensive, not too invasive, and you can pick the different things that you're interested in. And these books are pretty freaking cute. Now, this book I haven't read yet, but any little book like this that just has enough information in it, these I think are great sources for beginners, because usually these books are not too expensive. This one says US 15 on the back. Honestly, it says an introduction to totem animals. Usually introductions are very user friendly. I got this in my Witch's Roots box, so I was actually got this in a subscription box. So this right here is these kinds of books. If you're looking for something just to touch on, to see what you like, these books are great, as well as those little books. Alright? I know, I'm giving you a lot of resources, because I feel like everybody tells you, oh, go research, but they don't actually give you resources. There's a reason why I've collected so many books. It's because I was trying to find what I like, but I didn't know which book was good to get. So I have a bookshelf of books, and I read half of them, because I would read half of it and be like, this book doesn't make sense to me, and then put it down, because I didn't want to start all over reading it, because I was just lost in it. So that's why I'm trying to give you books that are kind of user friendly. So for the tarot, if a lot of people are interested in tarot, because it's everywhere. So I liked this book, Tarot for Beginners. This is the second edition, by Lisa Chamberlain. The reason why I like this book is it's pretty light, easy to travel with. Excuse me. It gives you kind of an overview, esoteric correspondences, the number correspondences, because there's a reason why the numbers are the numbers in tarot. This is based off of the Rider-Waite, which is the generic, I don't want to say generic, but like the most commonly used tarot. But it has all the different card meanings. So even if you buy a deck that doesn't come with a book, because most decks will come with a book on the different meanings, even if you don't, this has all the meanings in it. And it's like I said, it's pretty light, it's pretty small, fits in your bag. It's very user-friendly. I know that if you've already know all the tarot meanings, it can get a little daunting. But when I didn't know all the tarot meanings, it was a nice, easy read. Do I remember all the tarot readings the first time I read this book? No. You have to work with the cards to really remember and see the different things in the meanings. I would still suggest going to a tarot class. Don't just read the book and expect to be an expert. This is just a resource. Now, the other resource I want to bring up is the Modern Witch Tarot Journal. This is it's a helper tool. This is a journal that you can write down spreads, see, title, source, in the spread. You can write down your readings. You can write down, if you take classes with people, you can write down their information, or if you meet someone, you want to write down their information. If they're with a tarot group, you can do that in here. The biggest thing is in the front, they have all of the cards. So they have the major arcana. And then they even have the minor arcana in smaller sections. And it basically comes with keywords, correspondences, reflections, and reversals. And you can, I haven't filled this in. I'm gonna be honest, I'm giving you a tool that might work for you. Obviously, it didn't quite work for me. It just didn't. I started to. I really did. But I have 2 of these journals, and this one it just didn't work for me. So, but if it works for you, it works for you. The other thing is, I tried this. I realized I'm just not one of those people who likes to do tasks daily, because my life gets a little crazy. Then it doesn't, then it does, then it doesn't. But this is the tarot card, the one tarot card tarot journal, the 1 card tarot journal. It's by Maria Sophia Marnandez, and basically, it literally gives you a prompt, a date, a time, the card type, major or minor arcana, card, whether it was upward or reverse, what feelings came with this card, and it just kind of walks you through pulling a 1 card pull daily. It's a great way to slowly get to know the cards. So this is a great resource if you have 5 minutes while you're pooping every morning. Do this. It just doesn't work for me. I don't do things stringently during the days. Again, so I'm going to give you one other thing. This, I wouldn't say, is for very, very beginners. This is kind of after you've researched, after you've done all that. This is kind of like you're trying to find your clear. You've already been meditating. You already have a daily practice. And I would say at least do the meditation, the research, the daily practices, the small things for at least 2 to 3 months before getting into this book. Because this is kind of how to find your different abilities. It's one of those, like, not daily things, but it comes with a bunch of different exercises to kind of work through with meditation, with blah blah blah, and a lot of people have a hard time with meditation and manifesting, and it does explain a lot of this. Letting go of skepticism, cautions, rescuing versus helping, remote viewing, which is one of the clairs, the different parts of your body, clairvoyance. It goes through the clairs, connect skills, telepathy, spirits. It really is a deep dive. I have read this book. It's awesome, but I just couldn't do the practices. They just didn't work for me. Maybe I should read it again and try to do it again. It just didn't work for me when I was doing it. I think I read it too soon. You know how that works when you're like, I'm going to skip 6 steps and then read it too soon. So this is definitely something that's later down the road. I don't really suggest this before 6 months. I would even say like a lot longer than that, because it's really deep diving into people who've already gotten the meditation skill, who are already aligning, who are already doing that. But this is the book. It's psychic skills for magic and witchcraft. Beyond your spirit, intuition, and clairvoyance. Developing your spirit, intuition, and clairvoyance. It's by Gina Cole. I love this book. I love the practices in it. It's very decently user-friendly, but it takes a lot of work. So, this book is awesome if you really want to find your own skill. Now, let's talk about shadow work. So, I'm going to give you 3 more books to help you, and then we're going to move on to a different type of source. Alright, so, I think this book, now like I said, even for me, a lot of you beginners are coming from a place of, I would say, the church wound. I wouldn't even say Christianity wound. You could say Christianity wound, but the church wound especially. Where the church has almost pushed you out to get you where you are today. So you're looking at witchcraft, and you have this big old Christian church wound. So this goes on to that first question. So if that first question is, I realize the hypocrisy, if that's a part of it, this book is great for you. Especially if you're a woman of some sort. So it's The Holy Wild. Let's pull it back because I keep wanting to put it up here. The Holy Wild, a Heathen Bible for the Untamed Woman by Danielle Dulski. This book is actually really, really cool. It goes into a lot of archetypes. There are bedtime incantations and ritual prayer. I know I'm like flipping through it in your guys' face. I'm sorry for that. But this is gonna help that shadow work heal when it comes to church. I've read this book. I worked through this book. Even if I don't like practices, I've done this book, and it was awesome. It was a very good launching point. And don't get me wrong, I had a hard time going deep in this book. I just wanted to answer them with 1 sentences because I wasn't there to heal. I wasn't at that point. So, if you're really, the more effort you put into these practices and these exercises, the more you'll get out of it. Okay? So, The Holy Wild, a Heathen Bible for the Untamed Woman by Danielle Dulski. Awesome book. Now, you started witchcraft with all the spooky creepiness involved. You want to get into the dark side. I know you because I was you. I wanted to see how deep the rabbit hole goes. But tame it, new broom. Tame it for now. Okay? I'm going to give you this source. But this is a great source to start you off on that path. But this is great for beginners. We don't want to dive headfirst into a pool that we don't know the end of. So we're going to stick a toe in with this book. It's called My Moon Cycle Journal. So this is for people with wombs. Okay? Considerably cis women who want to practice magic who have wombs, but you don't have to have a womb to have this book. It actually goes for people who have had their wombs taken out or no longer have their wombs. It does go into how to practice. It says before your period, blah, blah, but it even goes into a section of if you don't have a womb. So it kind of explains that. Because even if you don't have a womb, you can go by the moon cycles and kind of figure out. So this is an internal cycle book. It does have pages like this where you track your day, your flow, the weather, your feelings, how I feel physically today, how I feel emotionally today, physically, emotionally, habitually, and your cycle day. And like I said, if you don't have a womb that bleeds, go by the moons. That's what it says. It says go by the moons because you're still doing that energetic cycle even if you're not doing a womb-based cycle. So it could go for men if you want to do that energetic cycle and just don't know how to go about it. But it explains the different phases of the things. I'm not going to show you some pictures because it does get a little graphic, but like it explains the different cycles. The next page, yeah, it has a little bit of a graphic picture. Not really, I wouldn't say graphic, it just talks about human autonomy. But for YouTube, we're not going to go there. Lunar phases and intention setting. So it gives you an idea of how to do this book. This called is The Moon Cycles Journal. A cycle tracking journal for teens and preteens by Cycles Journal. I know this says for preteens and teens. Feel free to give this to your teenager if you're teaching them about magic and their bodies and how they work. I love this book for that. But a lot of us older women were not taught about our cycles. So I think that this is a great book to help you learn about your cycle. I can't praise this book enough. It taught me a lot about my cycle and everything else. Taught me a lot about how my moods are when I'm on my cycle and things like that. I love this book. So even if you are used to your cycle, you know how it works. Sometimes you don't acknowledge your feelings on the different parts of your cycle until you write it down. So can't suggest this book enough. And that gets you used to thinking about your cycle, your blood, your womb, your feminine energies, and all that in a beautiful way, not in a gross ew way. And like I said, it's even good for people who don't have cycles, because you can go by the moon phases and things like that to track it, because it's still an energy flow. One last book, or should I say a session of books. Now, I only have 2 of these because they're bloody huge. But this one is the Encyclopedia of Spells. I also have the Encyclopedia of Spirits. They are huge. They are pretty hefty. They're solid. They are large. This one is a pretty penny. It is $35 for this book, but it's a hefty book. It's a big boy, so that's why it's so much. Cause it's so much. I love these because if you want a little tidbit of something before researching it, if you need to know a little something before researching it, if a name comes to you and you don't know that name, or you want an idea for a spell, these books are amazing. Actually, I just thought of something and I should probably use that book later tonight. The one with spirits, because the spirit name, it keeps popping in my head and I can't find it anywhere. So maybe my Encyclopedia of Spirits will help. So that's why I really love those books, because as you get into it, you can just boop. I got my big boy. He has a little bit of everything. always good to be a jack of all trades. So, those are the actual physical books that I can recommend. If those aren't your things, research. I do have, if you are into signs of zodiac, the zodiac and the celestial and whatnot, signs of zodiac, a modern guide to age-old wisdom of stars. This was very user-friendly to me because I don't get that stuff, so this was like something that actually helped me understand. Kitchen Witch's Guide to Recipes, Love and Romance, by Dawn Aurora Hunt. Please note that this talks about physical self-love, so if that's not up your alley, you can either skip that section, read through it, blah, blah, blah. I just don't want you to be caught off guard. This book does have physical self-love in it, as well as intimacy with a partner. So just be aware of this. And then another cute little Kitchen Witches is Kitchen Witches for Beginners. Spells, Recipes, Rituals to Bring Your Practice into the Kitchen by Dawn Aurora Hunt. It's the same author. It's just a little sweeter. A little more beginner friendly. Cute little recipes and books and how to bring things to make them extra magical. Kind of breaks down the different things. And I am a whore for cookbooks. Super cookbooks. Love cookbooks. So I love these kinds of things. I just wanted to give you some of those things. So you can basically, my point of bringing these 3 books up is basically you can find a book on anything. Anything you're interested in, you can find a book. The trick is finding the book that makes sense to you. That's why I keep giving you all these books ideas. It's not because I'm trying to be like, hey, books. But these are the books that I've read that helped me figure out my path. So I know that they're a little beginner friendly. And I know what they're good for because I've gone through them. So I just wanted to bring those to your attention. When I first started, people were like, buy this $79 book. And I'm like, I don't want to spend $79 on a book that I don't even know will work for me. I think the biggest, most expensive book I spent was $35 was what I said, which was still highly expensive to me, but it's a general book, so that's why I'm still giving you guys that option. Witchcraft does not have to be expensive. So, the only thing you really need in Witchcraft is setting your altar. That's really all you need. And an altar can be literally some dirt from your backyard. A feather you found or some leaves. I like leaves when it comes to, I know a lot of people do earth with leaves, but I think of like the leaves falling and blowing in the wind, so I put them for air. Fire, a candle I never lit, and water, some tap water from the sink. Fire could also be a lighter you found on the ground. It could be anything that causes fire. It can be a tea light from the Dollar Tree that doesn't actually light or does light. Really anything that represents fire, passion. Put a red cloth on your altar and be like, well, that's passion, that's red, that's fire. You don't have to be expensive, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't even have all the elements on my altar right now. I really don't. I have what works for me. I have a cauldron. I'm looking at it right now so I can remember. I have the oils I want to work with. I usually have my incense burner, some kind of candle, and then I guess I have a bell, but they're not in the corners. It's just not me. You can do all the ritualistic and make it all fancy and stuff, but like, that's just not me. Usually it's my desk covered in jars of crap. These are rose petals, lily petals. And you know what I got those from? I got those from bouquets that people gave me that just kind of let die. It's kind of what I have. I have candles. I have graveyard dirt from my ancestral graveyard, I guess, or at least the one that most of my family's buried at. Yeah, I have water bottles galore because I have a habit of not throwing away my water bottles as I'm working. So really, like, it's what works for you. That's my point. I'm not trying to show off. I have a lot of empty jars I've collected because I thought they were cool, so I just stuck them up here because I'll use them for something eventually. But my point is, you don't need all the fancy things. You don't need all of these books to do what you want to do. You just need to do what you want to do. And that's the thing. So, if you don't have money, I'm going to give you a couple of free sources other than myself to go. So give me 1 second and let me set that up, and we'll talk about some online sources because I know not everyone's readers. Hi. Welcome back. So, obviously you're here watching me on YouTube. So, obviously you can get on the internet, whether it be your phone, itchy nose, sorry, whether it be your phone, something. Let me give you a couple of other people that I watch personally that helped me when I was a beginner and still help me now. So, what you're seeing on the screen is the Witch of Wonderlust. So, I just typed in the Witch of Wonderlust. It came to the Witch of Wonderlust Tarot. I clicked on her here. These are 13 tips for beginner witches, protection magic, working with a money bowl, magic glamours. Now, Hecate, are you actually used to anything? Filipino healing and shamanic arts, the basics of sigil making. She does a lot of awesome stuff. As you can see, my bone throwing. She is a death witch, so she works with death. Arabian conjure, interviews chaos magic. She has a lot, and she interviews different witches too, so you're not just getting her, which I love the different viewpoints. So, she is a death witch. She is usually she does work with light things. Just because you're a death witch does not mean you don't work with light things, but it does mean that you focus on kind of the macabre. So, I know a lot of people who are brought into witchcraft via their desire to work with the macabre. So, I found her, and I really loved her aesthetic, and she really pulled me in when I was first because of the aesthetic, and then I learned from her beyond the aesthetic. So this is the Witch of Wonderlust. I love everything to do with that. Beautiful person, inside and out. Love her to death. So this is one person. So if you can watch me on YouTube, you might be able to watch her on YouTube, is my hope. Another person that I watch is the Divination Witch. She tends to look at different entities a lot. She's also doing a tarot thing. So you can see the working with different entities. She tends to talk to them, and then she's more of a clair or whatever. Don't think it's clairvoyance. That'd be viewing. But you get the point. She might be clairvoyant. Clairaudient. But, which means you can hear. But she really works with Hecate. So if you like Hecate, she works with Hecate a lot. She calls her mother. So if you're like, but she also works with angels, Egyptians, what you would call demons or fallen angels. She does reviews. I find her quirky. She does get mad sometimes, but she's really a sweetheart. Like, she is a sweetheart. Do I agree with absolutely everything she says? Not all the time, but most things I like about her. And then this is Sissy. So Sissy was actually the first person I started watching. She's very blunt, very direct, but she does actually teach a lot of things. So does the Witch of Wonderlust, but she is just very direct, very blunt. I'm gonna be honest, she mostly teaches. women. Obviously, men can watch her videos too. But she is an AS survivor, so she really goes over women's issues. That's just her focus because that's what she can, her path. A lot of these are old fashioned lessons. She goes over the Sabbath, she goes over everything. Persephone, Season Soul, Liz Descent introduction chat. She's awesome. I love her to death. She's very, very blunt. She's not always, she doesn't try to play nice. And I think I can relate to that because I don't play nice. So, this is a great source for you. I just wanted to give it, but just so you're aware, this is all free. Her YouTube is all free. But she does have a site called the Lunar Hearth Cauldron. Her tagline is right here. You can't see it. There you go. She is rebranding to Valkyrie and Vulva. This is her site. She's really working hard on it. Some things in the site do cost money. A lot of her prices go to charities. She's very, very, very big into communal service because she also works with Hecate and she gives back. But you have a bunch of different tabs here. I love that the neurodivergent craft is coming. This is the first time I've really seen classes for the neurodivergent. It's usually all online, workshops. So this is kind of your queen of shadow work. She is really kind of your queen of shadowing. She's going to give you prompts to write. She's going to help you work through things. She really works with women now. So I'm sorry, men. This website, please respect a woman's space. And she is trying to create a woman's space. I know that that's not necessarily considered what you might say is fair. I think women and men both need their own spaces. And that goes for men too. I love men creating men's spaces for men. And I love women creating women's spaces for women. We're different. We're equal. And that's okay. But if you try to buy into her class as a man, she won't let you. She will refund your money. She will kick you out. She does not teach men because she is trying to create a safe space for women to heal. Because she is the shadow work witch. She really, really is the shadow work witch. She talks about SA in here. She talks about healing wounds. She talks about family wounds. Things in which she wants women to be able to open up to in a safe space. So if you are a woman, this is a great thing for you. Yes, some things cost and some things don't. She does donate a lot to charity, and I would say her prices are exceedingly reasonable, but this is where I started. So this is what I'm giving you. She does usually have a kid section in here. I would have to find it, whatnot. But, like I said, she's rebranding. But I would not let people under 18 on this site either. This is for adults. People over 18. Usually a lot of the women are even older than that. 30s up. But 18 is the kind of cutoff. So I just wanted to show this to you. The last thing I wanted to show you too, as long as I can get to it, not that, this. So if you are in the Rhode Island, Massachusetts, New England, Maine, Vermont area, and you are willing to drive, welcome to A Touch of Magic. This is called A Touch of Magic, and it's in Uxbridge, Mass. It is a shop, but they also do, what I want to bring you up to is, yes, there's a shop, shop. They sell a bunch of different things. It's a mystic shop. But a lot of the metaphysical shops in this area don't do classes they're literally just shops, or if they do, it's one-off events and they're usually quite pricey. So what I want you to bring you is this class event section up here, and then if you scroll down, they have advanced mediumship, psychic development, the summer fest psychic fair, witchy item swaps, Wicca 101 for absolute beginners class, make your own broom with Jenza, spirit board class with Kate, July ladies night, Canva class, Canva class, I don't know what that is. Power of Terra and astral healing, paint classes. They've also had angel classes here, astrology for beginners, Summerfest. This is just what they have up now. Mabon class and ritual, Llamas class and ritual, September full moon circle, crystal scavenger hunt. I cannot talk right now. August paint and sip summer nights. So this is just, and they always have different classes. They have readings, they have classes, they have a store. So yes, but some of these things are like $30, which I know is kind of expensive. $45, $45, but I've seen classes go for $90 to $100 or even more than that. So for beginner witches, this is pretty reasonable, I think. And these are very basic classes, but they'll get like really good ones, like mediumship advanced. Well, there's usually a mediumship for second and third class, so you have to take them in order. But I just wanted, if you're in that New England area, especially if you're willing to drive or if you're only a hop, skipping away, this is called A Touch of Magic. It's in Uxbridge, Mass. So I just wanted to bring this as a source to you. I'm a decent hop, skip, and step, but I drive for a living, so I don't mind driving to a class. It's worth it. I've taken a lot of my angel classes here, and I just wanted to bring this to your attention. So I will minimize this, and give me 1 second, and I'll be back with you. Hi guys, all back. Sorry, just wanted to switch up my computer system. I don't mean to overload you with resources and make this seem like it is extensive. I just wanted to give you different resources so you can find out what works for you. Because everyone has a different path. Research is highly important in figuring out your daily practice or meditation, what you can do and can't do is kind of the big thing. Research is kind of important. Obviously you found this video, so that's why I tried to give you other video places to work with, other books to read. Whatever works with you is what works for you, and I don't want you to think that anything you do is wrong. The point isn't to overwhelm you, but simply to say go do. So in which case, please don't let this overwhelm you. You are an amazing being, and I'm trying to give it to you in a realistic way. So take it with a spoonful of salt. Don't label yourself. Take one thing at a time. Don't try to research every itty bitty thing. Don't try to look at every single video. Enjoy the path. It's a path. We're all on a journey. So enjoy that journey for yourself, because it's beautiful and amazing and magical. Now, this is the Grey Witch, and I hope that you have a fabulous day. Go do magic.